I'm Doth Savick, and this is the Revolution Carolina bag. I've been testing this bag more than most any other bag that I've reviewed recently, and I'm pretty psyched to tell you guys about it. I also, humble brag here, I finished in a tournament over the weekend. I played in the MA1 division and just barely played good enough second round to scrap into last cash. And I got myself some gift cards to Shields, and these are the glasses I ordered with my gift cards. I'm pretty psyched on them. They're the same frame as my favorite glasses I've got right now, but all that blue I think is pretty sick. So I'm psyched on my new glasses. But where to start with this? It is an expensive bag. The retail on it is $229. That's how much I paid for it. At that price, it comes with the full double strap, backpack strap style harness, and it is matched color-wise to the bag. You've got a number of color options if you're shopping for a new Carolina. They're two-tone, and this color, whatever you've got right here, is what they use to match the colors on the straps. So you might forget that just seeing some of them out there. This gray is a pretty neutral color, but they do have some brighter ones on their website. In fact, let's jump right over there and take a look. So I ordered this bag from Gotta Go, Gotta Throw. That is who owns Revolution now, and their website is where they first popped up. So if you come on to Gotta Go, Gotta Throw and search for Revolution or dig through their bags in other ways, you'll see the Revolution 2020 Carolina Team Disc Golf Bag. We can read all about it in here, and then we get the ability to choose some different colors. This one, we've got the gray down there, same as my bag, so the straps again match that. But like over here, if you've got red in that spot, then you get red straps. And there's all sorts of different color combinations you can choose through here, and that's pretty fun. I like that they have some different color options. Pick something to suit your style. I've seen that these are also now for sale on Infinite. If you've got, I don't know, maybe played in some Infinite tournaments, you've got some credit to use, this is a bag you can pick up there. Same price, $229. And let's take a look and see. They've got 82 of them in stock, and again, yeah, they've got a bunch of color options. So if you prefer that, you can go through Infinite. These might be available other places also. I'm not sure. I didn't go search around to see how many different websites they might be available on. The weight of this bag. This guy comes in at 1.28 kilos, or that's 2 pounds 13 ounces. And that is if you don't have the frame in it. And I'll go right into the frame and talk about that guy. The frame adds a full pound of weight, 3 pounds 13 ounces, or 1.75 kilos. If you were to put the frame in here, this bag ends up weighing same as Octohaul that I've got up there in the corner. Without the frame in here, this is lighter than a Skinny 2 from Fossa, or just a little bit heavier than the Shift from Upper Park. So you have a very light bag. Both the Shift and the Skinny 2 are very light, very nimble bags, and that's the weight class that this guy is in, as long as you're ignoring that frame. Here's what the frame looks like. They call this the roll cage, and I've got it loaded up with discs right now. You can see there's a divider in the middle. You can slide that guy back and forth. Right up front here, I'm just going to say, do yourself a favor and do not put this frame in the bag. You should try the bag first without the frame in there. Keep the pieces, tape them together so you don't lose them, set them aside, something like that, and give this bag a chance without this frame in here. I bet that if you do, you'll never have the desire to put the frame in it. I think that there's too many downsides to using the frame. One is that it limits how many discs you can get in there. As I have it loaded up right now, I've got 8 mids and 8 drivers. what I'm going to show you that I have loaded up in here without the frame is 10 mids and 10 drivers across. So we're losing 4 discs that we can put out there by putting this frame in. We're also adding, it's about 3 discs worth of weight to put the frame in there. And it makes the bag more boxy on your back. This is, this is what goes up against your back if you're going to have the frame inside there. Of course, it's covered with fabric, but nonetheless, that's just hard plastic frame. The best thing about this frame is that it keeps it more organized, and they call it the roll cage, and it definitely does. It stops discs from, wanting to roll forward or backwards. I don't have any problem with the discs moving around forward and backward. I should say they do that, but I don't have a problem with them rolling around. In fact, the extra room that I get in front of the discs is something that I utilize. I'll show you there. Maybe another positive thing about this is that it makes your discs stay in a little bit more accessible spot. You'll see that when I dig into the bag, it kind of collapses in on these edges and covers the discs on the side. If, of course, we're 2 discs on each side skinnier, so that would keep it a little bit more accessible, not having discs come out and kind of hide away. This took me, I did a live stream when I unboxed this thing and put it together. I went back and looked at the timestamps on it. It was just very close to 10 minutes that it took me to get this inside the bag and assembled. It's a little bit tough to do, and I don't know. Again, I think you'd be best off just skipping that guy. As I said, I do have 20 going across here right now. That is 10 mids, and you can see how this piece does kind of cover what's on the side. And if I pull it to show here, then it becomes even more difficult to pull and show what's on that. So if you're really running 20 across like I have and trying to pull out those discs on the edges, you're gonna be working for it to get those discs out and back in. One thing I've done to take care of some of that is just not load that many discs in there and go ahead and put a towel or 2 in one of the sides and just let my discs flop back and forth a little bit. Now that we've got the frame behind us, there's really very few things that I can pick on about this bag. I just love so much about it. But let's take a look at the other things that kind of stand out. One of the things you will notice is that this bag is very wide. Like with the 2 Nalgene's that I've got in there now, they're both about half full with water. I didn't make them super heavy, but they do tend to pull the sides out a little bit. As it's sitting on my desk right now, this guy's 26 inches wide. That's like, hitting the door frame on one side or the other, maybe both as you're walking through. It does really stick out far. The bottles aren't in a spot where they're like clipping elbows, but it sits far enough behind you. To give you an idea just how wide that is, the Octo Haul that I have sitting here, that's one of the wider bags out there, and it's only 22 inches. This thing is 4 inches wider than the Octo, so it's got a big profile. The other is that there are some difficulties in getting the fitment right with this harness system. There's lots of room for adjustment on this. You've got 4 points of contact, and I've been moving this harness back and forth between the Carolina and the Mini Deluxe, and every time that I move it from one of the bags to the other, I have to change the length of this section right here to make it to fit well. You can see that as I have it on the Carolina, I've got this buckle pulled all the way to the top, and then I still have that long of a tail. If this was the only bag that I was carrying these straps on, after, I don't know, maybe I'd probably give myself a month of use with it, playing a couple times a week to figure out exactly how long I want those, and then I would shorten these. I'd be cutting some of these tails just so that I don't have too much extra stuff flapping around. I'm leaving them on there because, again, I do switch it back and forth. On the other attachment point, we also have a lot of adjustability. There's a buckle down here on the bottom, so you can change how far that comes up. For example, if when I'm wearing the bag, I'm usually between like this zone and this zone, I wouldn't want that much extra tail all the time, and I could bring that tail all the way up here and then make up the distance by sliding this buckle and pulling that strap up to make it a little bit cleaner. I like that they've given that much adjustment. I think that it'll help fit many different torso sizes and types. This bag with the frame out does have like a pretty nice curve to it. It will give like a little bit of a hug. I'll say that fitment wise, there's something about the way that this sits, even with playing with so many different adjustments, where I feel like it is pulling down on the top of like my what's that, lat. It's not sitting super wide out on my shoulders. It stays pretty tight, and I don't get the feeling of being like pulled here. It's straight down. It feels like it hangs a little bit more aggressively than some of the other backpacks that I've tested. I'm being super picky there. I don't know that, you know, like it's going to fit everybody a little bit different, right? Even trying to make that criticism, I've got to say that the straps on this bag are my favorite. These are padded so well. I really like how this is done. It's super thick padding. I'm, 9 months into using this bag. Of course, not carrying it the full time, but even, when I got through like my testing phase with this, and then I was playing just casual rounds later where I was grabbing whatever random bag, I kept finding myself grabbing this one. Like I literally loaded this bag up and carried it multiple times instead of my Octo haul. It's just a really nice bag. The straps are super comfortable. I feel like they're going to be super durable. Fitment is a little bit off. The materials on this thing are just outstanding. This is 1000 denier Cordura. If you don't know the Cordura name, it really is on a different level than other, just like, you can still see like 1000 denier, and it's just nylon instead of Cordura. The Cordura feel is, like you can just tell you've got a more serious fabric there. And on top of that, as you can see the little American flag here, not only is it extremely high quality as used on this, it is made in America. And now you better start to understand why it's got that $229 price tag. It's not cheap to make stuff here. And it's not cheap when you're making stuff out of, the highest quality materials available. The old school vibe is just great. Like, I wonder how much that is, priority when I'm picking this bag over the Octo haul to carry out, is just kind of the vibe that I get with it. I like how it hangs. The only two other criticisms I can think of are how we're a little bit choked in on the disc opening, and then I could go for one, maybe two more pockets divided, like perhaps on the inside of our main storage here. If we had a little pocket along one of these walls, something like that. I feel that I'm just slightly short when I'm trying to secure my keys, wallet, cell phone. And we'll go through all those pockets right now. As you can see, two dedicated water bottle pockets. We've got grommets on the bottom of both of the beverage holders. On the bottom of the bag is truck tarp. There's 2 layers of this like super heavy duty rubberized coating on the bottom. It feels very durable. On each side, on the outside of the main storage pockets, we've got a small pocket. This works just great if you want to put a rangefinder in there. If you want to put, I've got a speed gun I carry in there sometimes. And that's the number one spot that I've been putting my... We lost the light. And that's the spot that I've been putting my cell phone the most, is just sliding it straight into one of those outside pockets there. On the main pocket on this side, we've got a key keeper in there, and I've got my keys clipped to it. Just a couple bags that I've got full of stuff, and that's where I'm just dropping my wallet, just straight into the abyss. That's like, it's not ideal, that's not my favorite, but you got to put the wallet somewhere, and hanging the keys next to it is kind of makes that whole side like the little bit more valuable stuff. On this side, I don't have a whole lot in here. I've gone ahead and dropped a towel in there, speed guns on that side, and I've got a whale sack. I found that in the more humid environment here, I'm having way greater appreciation for whale sack. I've even been carrying a chalk bag some to help keep my hands dry. I really like, there's a sneaky spot. You see a little tail sticking out right there with the 2 putter pocket slot in the front. It holds a whale sack behind that second putter really, really well. It just kind of comes out with the 2 putters. I have been carrying 4 putters for the most part. This is a Wizard and a Voodoo that I've got up front here, and here's their pairs. So I've got a second Wizard and Voodoo here, and I've just stuck my putters right in the very middle. That's something that, like, I like the 4 putters for warming up when I'm actually in the round. I don't need them, you know. One of each mold is just fine. I found that a lot of times when I'm out there playing, especially if I've pulled a disc way off of this outside here and I think I might use it for a few holes, it may just go right back there like that. There's plenty of room to actually slide a couple, especially drivers in there, and you can do it on the front as well. I found myself keeping a couple discs like that. If I know I'm going to throw the same fairway driver or whatever for a few holes in a row, it may not get put back into its normal slot, but stuck on one of those sides just to give me a little bit better accessibility. I mentioned that one of the things that bugged me a little bit is how much material came off of the sides. I think that the reason that they did that was to help make this bag more water resistant, because it doesn't come with the rain fly. We've got a unique thing here. It actually has 2 flaps that come across the top of the bag to close it. As I untuck the first one there, you see that that's got the, you know, huge zipper closure on it. If you zip that closed, you do get some coverage over the zipper, but it actually has a whole nother flap that comes in even wider all the way out here, so you're overlapping again. And this guy comes all the way out, covers your putters, and has a buckle down here. So you can clip that guy in, and even without my zipper being closed, I've got pretty good overlap protection. And my guess is that came into play when they decided how much to cover the discs on the side here. Or maybe they were just trying to cover their frame because they thought everybody was going to use the bag with the frame in there. So that may be a little bit unfair for me to complain about how that fabric sticks out to the side, because it's a use case where I don't want to use the frame. But I truly think the bag is better without the frame. So if I think could benefit from a redesign a little bit, perhaps. And this is maybe one of the trade-offs I would take. Lose some of the water resistance, but get a little bit more access to the discs out on the side. Comparing this bag to the Mini Deluxe, I've gone back and forth which one I like more. It is easier for me to bring this Carolina out for an average round because I have no problem getting 18, 20, 22 discs in there, something like that. If I'm bringing the Mini out for a round, I'm much more limited on the discs that I can carry. So I have to think through the course, know what shots, know how windy it is, and I can narrow my selection and go out with the Mini, but it takes some more thought. The downside of that is that because of the capacity that this has, when you load it up, it ends up becoming a pretty heavy bag with all of those discs in there. And that makes it a little bit less enjoyable of an experience with the way that the harness system works. The harness feels better when you're using it on the Mini because the Mini stays so much lighter. And that's started to push me towards the direction of saying that I like the Mini better, just because at that forced lighter weight. You know, you're not going to be able to carry as many discs with it. The bag becomes much more comfortable. I still love this thing. I don't, you know, I will probably keep carrying this bag just because of how much I like it. The feel of the fabric, the style of it. I mean, I'm repeating myself now, but I'm trying to get across how much I do enjoy this bag. We've got a little extra zippered pocket on the front here. I've not done a whole lot with this. I tried a couple different things. One time I was like, do keys work in there? Do my wallet work in there? And I immediately decided that just isn't the case. There's enough room that you can jam something in there that's a little bit higher profile like that, but then it really messes with how clean these putters go in and out, especially if you're trying to carry two up there. If you're okay with just one putter in there, then you can get away with sticking a bigger item in that pocket and zipping it in there. Like there's my wallet, it will fit, but now trying to get two discs in, you know, that's hitting the bulge that was made by my wallet, so it doesn't, you know, you're gonna have to fight quite a bit more to try to work with two discs in there. So it's just a fine spot for a mini. I have found that when I have a mini in there like that, it kind of disappears from me. I forget it's in there. I've not honestly been using mini a whole lot. I mostly just stand behind whatever disc was there, unless there's some weird obstruction that I want to get my foot off of, and then I'll go ahead and put a mini in. So that's kind of a spot you can forget the mini. We do have a little spot on there you probably saw as I was spinning the bag around for pencils and marker. It is like a little bit too deep for your golf size pencils. Those do kind of slide in there and disappear, but whatever. I can't remember the last time I've used a scorecard now, so I'm going to have to get off my pencil pocket rant. This pocket that I've been stuffing these flaps in, I have slid my cell phone in there as well. I don't love putting something stiff in there because it affects how comfortable this is on your back. If you put one item in there, then you know suddenly you've got a stiff kind of a bulge there. But you really could. You can fit discs in there. You could slide a cell phone in there. Some little item like that if you wanted. We do have a couple straps hanging off the bottom here too. I believe that the intention with those is to run an umbrella. You could put an umbrella in there and cinch it down. You could work on a way to attach a stool there as well if you wanted, but I've not used them. I've not gone out and carried an umbrella. You probably already have decided by now, at this point in the review, if you're considering this bag, you probably already now know if you think it's going to be worth the money to you. And that's a tough one for me to answer. I mean, you can get a whole lot of different bags for $229. I will say that you cannot get a whole lot of bags for $229 that are made with this high quality fabric, the 1000 denier Cordura, and that are made in the US. If both of those two things appeal to you and you like the aesthetics of this old school style bag, this is a winner. Like, it is a great option. I totally love the Carolina, and I hope that that helps you make a choice on whether it's the right one for you. Thanks for watching.